Hello children, I hope you have seen the contents which we had learned in the previous sessions. Now we are moving into the part 2 of this lesson, light. Now what are the concepts we have to recall from the previous classes? We have learned about mirrors and we have learned about image formation in concave mirrors and convex mirrors. Yes, no children? And in that I told you, I had taught you for concave mirrors and I told you to learn by your own about the image formation by convex mirror, and also I told you to do two sums which is in the book as your science preparation. I hope you have done it, right? Okay, with that note, what are the contents we are going to learn now, right? So we are going to see about applications of curved mirrors and laws of reflection, types of reflection, multiple reflection. In that multiple reflection, we are going to see about kaleidoscope and periscope, and we are going to see about the basic concepts of refraction. Okay, right. Now first we have to see what are the uses of concave mirror. Uses of concave mirror, I told you it will give you real and inverted images, and it will give you an intense beam, a strong light will be given by concave mirror. So where and all we need powerful beam of light. So there and all we can use concave mirror. First one, it is used as makeup mirror in beauty parlors, and it is used as a shaving mirror also. Even small amount of air, it will give you a magnified image when the object is kept closer. That image formation, tablet column and all I had taught you in the previous class. So I hope you would have understood it, right? So now it is used in the makeup mirror or in shaving mirror where we need some enlarged images, right? So even small wrinkles we can see in a very clear way. So that's why it is used in makeup mirrors. And shaving mirrors, I told you, even small, what is that, cracks and all, we can minutely we can see it and shave it accordingly. Okay, right. Now we use in torches and headlights. In vehicles headlights we use concave mirrors. Why we have to use vehicles headlights? Because headlights will give you a powerful beam. It has to give powerful beam of light on the roads so that we can proceed with our travel in a very effective way. Torches also are like that. So I can show you a picture. See, it is a picture of a torch. So torch will give you a powerful beam. So when we use torch during a current cut or whenever it is dark, right? So when it is dark, we need a powerful light, right? So we need a powerful light means we will use torch, and torch will give you a powerful beam of light. So to give a powerful beam of light, what kind of mirror can be used? So it is a concave mirror only. It will be used in the torches, right? So and also in vehicle headlights, right? Now next one, it is used in solar cookers and solar furnaces. And already I told you this in the previous classes. Concave mirror is otherwise called as converging mirrors. Do you remember that? So it will focus all the light rays at one particular point. So at that, solar cookers use this mirror. Solar cookers will be like one suitcase like type. So you can Google the picture, right? So inside that you will use that foods to be cooked. The food substances in the vessels will be kept in a place where all the sunlight will be converged. Okay, so for that only we use this concave mirror, because what is the property? Concave mirror will give you a converging focus of light rays. So all the sun's light rays will be focused at one particular point, and at that focus only food items will be kept in the vessels. So due to the high heating effect given by the convergence of the sun's light rays, food will be heated up very easily, right? So nice technique now, right? Next one is doctor's head mirror. Have you ever went to this dentist and eye doctors and all children? Like this they will wear, right? Doctors will wear like this, right? When they see your eye for your checkup or ears and what is that? Even our normal tongue and all they'll check. No, they'll ask us to stretch the tongue and all, right? So for that they can view like this. So like this they can view our eyes, and this is another type of checking. So like this, doctors will have some headlight, right? So for what they will use that? Just they will use it to see a powerful beam of light, so they can enlighten the area where they need to examine, and a magnified image also can be obtained. For example, some small dust would have entered into a eye. So for the doctors to check it, to locate that, it will be very little difficult. So what is that? So they will have that mirror on the head, and they'll see through it, and they can see that enlarged image, so that easily they can operate it and take the dust out, right? So this is how it is used as doctor's head mirror. And this is reflecting telescopes. In the previous class we learnt about this parabolic mirrors now. So parabolic mirrors are what I told you in that class now. It will have concave reflecting surfaces. So the parabolic mirrors are used in telescopes, I told you before. In that telescopes, what type of mirrors are used? Concave mirrors only are used. So this is a very important question, all these contents, so learn well. Right? So where we use concave mirrors? It is used in makeup mirrors, shaving mirrors, torches and headlights, solar cookers and furnaces. Furnaces means what, children? Where we heat food in a bigger way. So it is at, what is that? Higher scale of solar cookers. Solar cookers it will use in a domestic way, in a houses and all it will use. In a smaller way. Furnaces we use it in a numerous amount. Where in temples where they will give prasadam, they cook prasadams, no. There and all they will use solar furnaces, right? Even in hotels nowadays. So if it is cooked in a larger scale, then it will be used in solar furnaces, right? Next, doctor's head mirror and reflecting telescopes. Now we are coming to convex mirror. Convex mirror, what mirror is that? Diverging mirror. It will give you a wider view. I told you where we use this. It is used in the rear view mirrors, vehicle side mirrors, right? So it will give you a diminished image, that is a small image of the approaching vehicles, and also it will give you a wider view of the road also. That's why we use convex mirror. So it will give you a stronger, wider view, and what is the next one? And it will give you a diminished image. Even a bigger truck will be shown in a smaller way inside the mirror. Yes or no, children? So it is as it gives a wider view of the object, and also it shows the diminished image. Convex mirrors are used in rear view mirrors. And other than that, what are the other uses are? Whenever there are sharp turns, right? So at the sharp turns, they will keep one convex mirror, so that, for example, if this is the sharp turn, if the mirror is kept like this, now sharp turn will go like this, no. So if the convex mirror is kept like this, what will happen? Vehicle coming from that turn also can see one vehicle is approaching here, and vehicle going on this side also can see this side, other side's vehicle if it is approaching it. So I will show you that picture now, one example picture. Now you can see this. There are two cuts over here. One vehicle is approaching here and another vehicle is approaching here. So one mirror is kept here. Can you see it, children? So one mirror is kept over here. So this car's driver can view this car in the convex mirror, as it is kept at the junction point of two roads. So kindly view it. So this is how convex mirrors can help us when we are taking a sharp turns on the roads. This convex mirror not only used in the roads, but also in the buildings where we have multi-story buildings like malls and all we go to. There in the parking area we have sharper turns, and we have to see the wider view of all the vehicles when we are taking turn or taking reverse of the vehicles. All those we need some convex mirror. We need convex mirrors to show or to see other vehicles approaching towards us. See, it is a type of a model of parking area of a mall or a bigger building. So like this we will go and take a turn, and there we will keep one mirror, so that the other side where approaching vehicles can be viewed. So just for you to recollect the image, right? So when you go to malls like this, you can see the not like cameras, children, like mirrors, so that we can see the approaching vehicles, right? So this is what uses of convex mirrors are. So it is used as rear view mirrors, and it will be used on the roads to alert the vehicles to when they are taking the sharper turns, and it is used in the hallways of buildings like schools and hospitals, because there only we have to be very alert, right? So for the approaching vehicles near the school, so many children will be crossing, and hospital, so many patients will be there. So that's why it is highly used in that areas, right? Now next one we are going to see about reflection of light, right? So what is reflection? When light gets incident on a polished surface. Do you remember, children, what is polished surface? Now I have a plain mirror in my hand, right? So this is reflecting surface, and another one is polished surface, right? So here see, it is a shining surface, right? So in this mirror, when a surface like this, on the surface, when light is incident, now for you to have a convenience, I have a laser light with me, right? So now what happens now when I see incident the light, see here. So I am just focusing it on the board. You can spot the red light on the board. Okay. Now you see here, children. Now I am incidenting the light towards the mirror. But towards the mirror only I am incidenting the light. But you can see this red spot. You can see the red spot on the board. Can you see it, children? Can you observe it? Right? So what is that? Right? So light is incident on it, it gets bounced back into the same medium, right? So it is coming from air medium and it is getting reflected back in the same air medium. You can see here, I have drawn a diagram, I will explain it now. See here. See, can you see that reflected ray? Can you see, children? So that is your reflected ray. But I am pointing towards the mirror. You can see it above the mirror, right? So that is called, so the light rays comes, hits on the surface, that is the reflecting surface, and it gets bounced back into the same medium. So this process is called as reflection. What is that? R-E-F-L-E-C-T-I-O-N. Okay, so the bouncing back of light rays into the same medium after hitting on a reflecting surface is called as reflection. These definitions, listen now, all these definitions I have given in the notes. So the first listen very carefully, right? So now this process I had explained in a diagrammatic way. Two other terms you need to understand. Just listen, right? So this is the surface where the light gets incident. That is hitting. That hitting process is called as incidence. That action is called as incidence. Okay. And the ray hitting on the surface. So that now when I told you, children, that mirror, this is the surface and this is the light. So the light which is hitting on the surface, the light ray. Hitting means what I can tell you now in the new word, incident. So the ray which is getting incident on the surface is called as incident ray, and after hitting on it, it will get bounced back. No, that bounced light ray is called as reflected ray. So two rays you need to know. What are they? Incident ray, which is the first ray getting touched with the surface, and after getting incident on it, the bounced back light ray is called as reflected ray. Now, along with these two, we have one imaginary line. It is not imaginary line. It is just a line drawn at perpendicular. Perpendicular means what, children? Making an angle of 90 degree with the surface. Keep that word in your mind. This angle is not 90 degree. This angle. So, if a line makes an angle of 90 degree with the surface, and that line we call it as normal. So, some children, you confuse this normal line with the light ray. It is not a light ray, it is an imaginary line drawn at an angle of 90 degree. It may not be imaginary also. Sometimes we draw the line making an angle of 90 degree. That particular line is called as what? Normal. Don't say it as normal ray. Okay. So don't get confused. It's just a line. And when we are drawing these ray diagrams, don't forget to mark the arrow marks. See very clearly, here I have marked an arrow mark, here I marked an arrow mark, but I never marked the arrow mark here because that is not a light ray, it is a line. Clear? Right. So light comes in here, it's on the surface, reflects back in this direction. So arrow mark, be very clear. Don't make a big grammatical error here. Okay, physics grammatical error. If both the arrows are towards this direction, if you change the direction of this arrow, this side, so the entire process goes wrong. So be very alert with your direction of arrow marks, right? So what are the components? Incident ray, reflected ray, normal, right? So what is the angle between the normal and the surface? 90 degree. Okay. Now the angle between the normal and the incident ray is called as angle of incidence I, small I. Similarly, angle between the normal and the reflected ray is called as angle of reflection. Okay children, now what are the parts we have learned? Incident ray we have learned, reflected ray we learned, surface we learned, normal, angle of incidence, angle of reflection. See very clearly children, this 90 degree is not angle of incidence. So many times, so many children will confuse with this. This complete angle is not angle of incidence, but the angle between normal and the incident ray. Compare with the normal. Normal is our normal factor for comparison, right? So angle between normal and the incident ray is angle of incidence. Angle between normal and the reflected ray is angle of reflection. Clear? Right. Now we are moving to the point laws of reflection. So laws means what? Scientists would have stated a universal truth statement which has been verified and experimented. So that statements are called as laws. Okay. So there are two laws. Have a book that I have not written on the board. I'll tell you now. I will explain you now. In reflection, the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence, at this point, all lie in the same plane. Okay. So this is first law. This is the truth, experimentally verified truth. So that's why it is said as law. What is the first law? Incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence all lie at the same plane or same point. This is your first law. What is your second law? Angle of incidence will be equal to angle of reflection. Here at the diagram I have drawn in a rough way only, but when you do it actually practically, when you measure the angles of incidence and reflection, it will be the same. Okay, right. Now what are the two laws? Very important question. Number one, the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence lie at the same point. Here only, this is the point of incidence. So there all the three things, what are the three? Normal ray, normal, incident ray and the reflected ray all lie at the same point. So where is that point? It is the point of incidence. What is the second law I told? Angle of incidence and angle of reflection are one and the same. It is equal. Clear children? Remember this law. Again we are going to learn this. Right. Now one box is given in your book. Why we use silver? See, plane mirror. In your previous class I told a plane mirror. It's just a glass plate where one side is polished with and one side is just polished with silver or aluminium, right? So right. Now why it is polished with silver? Because silver is the best reflector. See children, here either they will, nowadays to reduce the rate, silver is little costlier now. So to reduce the rate they mix aluminium with silver. Why they use silver is the best reflector. Right? Silver means in Tamil we say to be What is that? Velli, right? So that they will mix with what? Mix with aluminium and they'll coat with the mirrors, right? So see, so now you can see the dazzling on your camera too, right? Dazzlingness. So silver is the best reflector. That's why it is used in mirrors, right? So this may be a very good important question, right? So note it down. Right. Now we are coming to types of reflection. There are two types of reflection, children. One is regular or specular reflection. Regular or specular. Clear with the word. Irregular or diffused. I tell you, children, when surface is smooth, right? Now if any surface is smooth like this, very clean, without any hardenings on the surface, now if a beam of light ray is getting mixed up on this, it will, what is that? It will get reflected, and the ray diagram has been given in your book, you can see through it. See that the diagram, right? So light ray will come and get reflected. Another light ray will come and it will get reflected. Like that. So every incident ray will have a proper reflected ray, and angle of incidence will be equal to angle of reflection. Their laws of reflection is obeyed. Two laws we learned, children, here. Two statements we have learned. That two statements will be followed in regular reflection. So that is why. So clearly one incident ray will have a properly traveling reflection ray, reflected ray. So that type of reflection is called as regular reflection. What are all the examples? So normally we have reflection in the plane mirror, what we have, and standstill water, not the flowing water, standstill water. If you see your face, right? So you can see, what is that? Correctly you can see the image of your face. So what is that? No distortion and all will happen over there. So that type of reflection is called regular or specular reflection. But if the surface is very hard, so many, what is that? Irregularities are there. For example, wood and moving water, waving water. And if you see there, how you can see? Can you see their face clearly? Your face also will move in the image, right? So what is that? One light ray will come and it will have reflection, and another light ray will come. The reflected ray of the second light ray will overlap with the first reflected ray. So overlapping of reflection will happen over there. So which will make the distortion of images. So that type of reflection is called as irregular or diffused reflection. Okay. So there all the incident ray will have different angles of reflection. So laws of reflection are not obeyed there. So which reflection will not obey laws of reflection? That is diffused or irregular reflection. One more question can be asked in this. And that ray diagrams you can refer your textbook and the notes also I will give that diagrams. Okay. Right. Next one we are moving to multiple reflection. For that, we are going to see one small activity now. So with that, we will proceed. Okay, children? Now, children, we are going to see about multiple reflection. So, right, in malls and all, we have some combination of mirrors. There we can see so many images of one single object. No, so that principle only we are going to learn now, right? So now I have two mirrors here. First, I had kept at right angles. Right angles means what? Making an angle of 90 degree. So roughly I had kept like that. Okay, right? Now I'm going to keep a car here. You can see how many images, children? 3 images you can see, right? So that 3 images, how we are, but object is 1, mirror is 2. Usually you have to get 2 images only, but here we are getting 3 images. How, children? First, that object will give you image to one mirror, right? And this image in this mirror will serve as an object to the next mirror. So this mirror will have one image, and that image will serve as an object for again this mirror. Can you understand the process? First image will be here, and this image will be object for the second mirror, and image in the second mirror will go as an object for the again it will go to the first mirror. Like this, the reflection process will continuously go. First it will come here, go here, and again another view come here. So that is how we are getting 3 images here. Now I had kept the mirror at an angle of 90 degree. I hope you can see one image here and another image here, and one will be at the approximately at the center. Yes, right now I am moving making that difference in the angle. Now you see the number of images can change. See, it may go to 3, 4 images or 5, right? So now see, very nice it will be to see, right? So now see, 4, 5 images will be happening over there. Now see, I am extending it, the images can disappear. See, now again it will become 2 images. See, so when you change the angle, the number of images formed will be changing. So there is a formula for it. We will continue with the children. Now children, we have seen the reactivity. I hope you would have observed it in a very careful way. And right, we are going based on that principle of multiple reflection. A reflection which happens for multiple times. Right? So two instruments can be constructed. They are kaleidoscope and periscope. Before this, I told you about that formula. That formula, you box it in your book. It is number of images formed will be equal to 360 degree by theta, right? Minus 90 degree, it would have been given in your book, right? So if what is that? 360 degree by what is the angle? Initially I had kept here 90 degree I had kept. So what is the formula? 360 degree by theta. Theta here means 90 degree, right? So 360 by 90. What is the answer? 4 it will come. Minus 1, right? 4 minus 1 will give you 3. So that is why we have got 3 images there. So this is the formula, children. 360 degree by theta, that is the respective angle, minus 1. Okay, right? So this based on this formula only the number of images will be formed inside the mirrors, right? So when I next process I minimized the angle, no. So that when you calculate the number of images, it will come accordingly in a correct way inside the mirror, right? So that based on that we can make kaleidoscope and periscope. First I will explain you about kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope is nothing but you would have seen in markets and all, right? So some design patterns and all come like this. Have you ever seen, children? Right? So it's a simple kaleidoscope you can make at home. Try this and do it. Go to YouTube and see the making videos of kaleidoscope. The process I will tell you now. Right? 3 mirror strips. Even the glass strips you can take, children. Right? If you are not getting glass strips, right? This is pandemic time. So better you can have long scales. It will be very good. Right? 3 long scales you can attach like this, making a triangle. Right? Using gum or glue like that, you can attach and cover it with chart paper. Right? So bottom also you can cover it with one small glass or chart paper you can cover it. Now inside it you can have this broken bangles. So broken bangles and designs, whatever you like, you will have. Girls will have so many designs at home, right? Like designer bindis, like that you can put inside it, right? So now for you only I had kept this open. Now you can close this and have a small hole inside it. So now you can have beautiful patterns. When you are seeing these patterns, children, some people will never have an attitude of joining the image with the patterns. They will focus only that bangles and all. Not like that. Reflecting images also you can correlate, you can join and see. Then only you can see beautiful patterns inside. So when you see here, so I hope you cannot focus that designs here. So right, so like this if you rotate, you can see patterns inside. Right. So now this may not be clear. You can make it on your own and do it. It will be very nice. You can have it. It may be little childish, but it will give you some pleasure in your heart. So you can enjoy those patterns, right? So even in this ways we are enjoying it. So you are so small, you can enjoy it still now. So that is about kaleidoscope, right? So here 3 mirrors are kept in making in a triangle shape. So the designs kept inside it will make so many beautiful patterns. So that is about kaleidoscope. Now we are moving to periscope. Periscope structure I will tell you children here. This is about a periscope. Where we are using it, we will see it, right? We will see now. So now here you see, periscope is about two mirrors will be kept like this children, right? Now it will be in. So we have seen the structure of periscope children. These two mirrors will be enclosed in one tube, right, or a cover, like a cardboard cover or even a iron based or metallic based cover, right? So these mirrors will be kept at an angle of 45 degree, right? So what will happen children? We can be here and we can view the happenings which are happening at the upper side. So light ray will come and fall on this mirror, and this mirror faces the other mirror at an angle of 45 degree. No. So light ray will come and incident on this, and straightly it will be reflected and it will get incident on this. Now this is at an angle of 45 degree, and we are watching that, we are observing the happenings on the mirror from here, right, at an angle of 45 degree. So see how we can see the happenings here by just we can be there at the downward direction, right children? So where we can use, this is the principle of periscope. Here one reflection, another reflection and another reflection. So multiple reflection is happening here. So this is the principle inside periscopes where we use this, right? So that is what we are going to see here. Warfare and navigation. Warfare means what? Where we used to do war, right, with other countries, right? So there and all, just like that we cannot walk, right? So the enemies may attack us. So what we do? We will hide ourselves, right? So we can hide ourselves, and we can, with the use of periscopes, we can see the movement of enemies. So we can be hiding ourselves in the downward directions. With the periscope, we can see the happenings at the topmost or down level, right? So this can be used in navigation also. In submarines. Submarines, you know children, the ships which are moving down the water, down the sea. Under the sea only the ship will travel. So that ships are called as submarines. So in Tamil we say it to be Neermulgi Kappal, right? So that are called as submarines. So down the sea the ship will travel. So we have to see what is happening above the water surface. No. So there and all we keep periscopes. It will be in this structure only children. So you can see this. So this is a structure seen out of the surface of water. You can see the surface of water here. So periscope will be seeing this is the mirror over here. So right. So this will be viewing the happenings on the ground, which will be reflected inside. And this tube will go down into the submarine ship, where the people inside, the warriors inside the ship will watch it. Right? So this is how warfare and navigation, and even in military. Military, you know, to safeguard ourselves, we will bunk ourselves. The soldiers will bunk means what? They can run and hide themselves under one pit, and down that in the bunks they will hide themselves, and they just hide and see the movement of enemies on the ground. So just to see the movement of the enemies on the ground, they use this periscopes. Very good use with a very simple scientific principle. Yes, no children? Right. Next one is photographs. So same thing, where and now we can trespassing means what? Where movement of normal people are restricted. We can restrict the movement in one particular place, and we can take the photograph. What is that? By hiding ourselves, and we can take the photographs also. So this is used in what is that? Periscopes, and photographs also can be taken using that periscope based camera. And now here this is another modern technology, fiber optic telescopes, right? Periscopes, which is a form of telescope. Now for this fiber optics periscopes are used in our medicinal field by our ENT doctors. For example, if something is, what is that, some operations or some diagnosis need to be done in our throat area through our intestine. So instead of operating in our stomach or intestine, what they will do, they will have some wire. First I have to explain what is fiber optics technology. Right? Instead of wires, small thin wires will be used through that light will be sent and it will be reflected in a very, what is that, efficient way. One good example I will tell you children. Nowadays, some decorative lamp is coming also, like wires, plastic wires will come, one light will glow at the bottom and all the plastic wires will glow. So it is not like wires, it's just like a plastic sheet. So no current needed for transmission, just a light will glow here. That light will be reflected through that small wires, right? Plastic wires, right? So that is simple technology of fiber optics. So what they will do, they will fix a camera in that wire. What they will do, instead of operating our stomach and getting pain, blood loss, time loss, and doctors have to spend more time and patients help to this point. So instead what they do, they will have a small wire kept in that, a small periscope micro camera will be attached over there. What they will do, they'll send through our, what is that, foot pipe, and they will just watch what is the defect inside that through the camera which is outside. So this is the principle overall which is used in a periscope way. So that is a new technology used in fiber optics. So a periscope made with the help of fiber optics. Very good notion. In a very easy way they will diagnose using the small mini cameras based on the principle what we use in periscopes. Right. Now we are moving to refraction. Before we study reflection, now we are going to study refraction. What is that? Now I will tell you one incident. Now I am going to do an activity now. I am having a glass plate now. Right. So now you see here children. Now see, I am incidentally alive. Now you can see two rays over there. So can you see the two rays children? So one is going up and one is coming down. Can you see the two red lights? So here one we can see in this direction and one we can see in this downward direction. Right? So now one more time I will show you. You can zoom the video and you can see it children. Now one light ray is coming down. See how nicely it is coming. Right? So that is when the medium is transparent like this. Right? Now some rays will get reflected in the same medium and some rays will take a bend through the medium. Right? So that bending of light ray, when light travels from one medium to another medium, is called as refraction. R-E-F-R-A-C-T-I-O-N. Where are I written here? Right? So it is bending of light when there is a change in medium. One simple example I tell you. When you put your hands in a bucket of water, your hand seems to be little bent. Right? So instead of traveling straightly, your hand seems to be little bent. So the medium changes from air medium to water medium. So there only the light ray seems to be bent from its path. So that process is called as refraction. So if it is going to be a polished surface like this, reflection alone will happen because this side no reflection happens over here. But in the case of transparent surfaces like this, you can see my face, right? So in this cases, some light rays will travel downwards also. So if the bouncing back light rays, I can show it now. See here, some light rays. So you cannot focus on it. Now I can show it on the board like this, right? So now, see here, some light rays will get reflection. And some light rays, you can see some dotted red dot on my hand too. So that is your refracted ray, and some appears on the board. So that is your reflected ray. Right? So this two process will happen when the medium is transparent. Okay. Now these two diagrams will tell you how the light rays will take a bend, whether it is towards the normal or it is away from the normal. So this point is very, very important. It will confuse you. Listen very carefully. When there is a medium, right? So we have two types of medium: rarer medium, denser medium. Denser medium is nothing but the molecules of the medium are little tightly packed. Rarer medium means it is loosely bound, like air medium, right? So when the light travels from rarer medium to denser medium. For example, when the light travels from air medium to glass medium. So this is your glass medium. When light travels like this, what will happen? The light will travel towards the normal. It will bend towards the normal. That is what I have written here. Rarer to denser, it will bend towards the normal. Why? Because it is traveling from rarer to denser. Denser mediums means the molecules will be tightly packed. So the molecules will tend to attract the light rays towards it. Simple example you can compare this, children. When you are passing water in a hose pipe, right? When you are gardening, while gardening, when you water the plants over there, inside the tube, inside the hose tube, what will do? The water will travel in particular path. So it cannot, what is that, branch out its ways, right? But when it gushes out of the hose pipe, what will do? It will come out with a big force. No. Let's compare that here. When it is coming from, what is that? Tap to the hose pipe, that is into the denser medium. It will have its clean path where all the movement of the particles will be attracted to one particular area. So this is what happens over here. When light travels from rarer to denser, the denser medium molecules attract the light rays. It is tightened, right? So the light ray will get attracted, bends towards the normal. But when it moves from denser medium to rarer medium, glass medium to air medium, example. So it is like water gushing out of the hose. It will gush out in a faster way, no? So molecules are loosely bound. The light can travel in any direction. So what is that? The velocity, the speed of the light will increase. So it will move away from the normal. So when light travels from rarer to denser medium, the light ray will travel. Light ray will bend towards the normal because the speed of the light gets altered. Here, denser to rarer medium. Denser to rarer medium means the light ray will bend away from the normal. So these are the concepts you are supposed to learn here. So study the notes, complete the class. Thank you, children.